Hey everybody, we got a jam-packed show today. We're going to talk a couple big matches coming up between Lomachenko and Lopez. We got Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. We're going to talk a little whiskey today as well. Listen, it's going to be a good show. Right after the intro, stay tuned.
From St. Joseph, Missouri, here is Travis Lee Hartman.
And that's what you don't know.
That is what he said.
Is that what? I don't know if you understand that phrase.
I don't. I love to use it a lot.
I know that. Welcome to the next episode of Weighing In with Travis Hartman. I'm just at a loss for words. There's no funny quip this week. There isn't. Because you know what? We want to get right down to business. But first of all, we're going to thank our media partners that we have. TH Boxing, Gulfstream Financial, IF Enterprises. Thank you very much for participation in our show. And we want to get right down to business, Travis. That's Travis Hartman. I'm Brandon Waters. Episode 15? All right.
Quince.
Wow.
Quince.
So for those of you that have been joining us, thank you. Thank you for following us on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts, everywhere you get your content. We are there. We are all up in your eardrums. We're all up in your eyeballs.
All up in that.
That's kind of what she said.
See, you know how to use it.
Not really. That wasn't even very good either.
You're better than me.
So if you haven't done so, please subscribe to us on YouTube. What you'll see there is a subscribe button, and then that's going to be on this side, and then you're going to see the bell icon over there, and that way you can check it to get notified every time we put something new out there, because it's not just the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, now we're giving a lot of content.
We get content. Travis gave his thoughts on something we'll talk about today with regard to Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. We put some other stuff on there. You know, we're cute. We're cute guys, right?
Nah.
I know.
That's not what she said.
That is not ever what she said. So, once again, that over there is Travis Hartman.
That's Brandon Waters.
And you're looking fly today. I kind of want to just get into that because this is a shirt that I approve.
First outfit Brandon has ever, a.k.a. producer, B-Money, has ever approved of. And to be fair, we had somebody off air and they were like, "Did you pick this out, Brandon?" And Brandon was like, "No. I actually picked this out, and you approved of it."
I did.
So I'm happy about that.
Because here's the deal. You know the vibe it's giving me? Because I'm looking at the red, I'm looking at the yellow, I'm looking at the orange undertones. Check this out. Check it out. You know what the vibe it's giving me?
Yeah.
Hulkamania. Hulkamania is running wild.
Dude, I love the Hulk too, so that actually works. But that's not why I picked it. To be fair, be honest, that's not why I picked it.
Well, you're a real American hero, and I think Weekend Trav looks good in Hulkamania's colors. Shout out Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Whoa,
That's Ric Flair. That's
sorry.
Ric Flair. Okay.
Can we give him a Ric Flair? Maybe I need to dress up as Ric Flair next weekend. Weekend Trav should be Weekend Ric Flair.
Wow, okay. So
let's just go with the WWF, WWE, whatever they call it now. Let's just go with that theme.
Okay, we could do that. So we're just going to start dressing up like a WWE.
You know what?
Okay.
I think what we should do is Halloween's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
We should have a Halloween themed podcast, Brandon.
Interesting.
Where you get to dress up as somebody.
Okay.
I get to dress up as somebody besides Weekend Trav.
Okay.
Dude, I think that's.
I already have an idea.
We literally that was honest and like organic. We didn't talk about that beforehand. But let's do it.
Well, we talked about a handful of things in pre-production, of which we're going to talk about today. So we have a couple big fights coming up. First, this coming weekend on the 17th, we have... Sorry, I got you mid-sip.
Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
But we also talked about a lot of stuff off air that we can't talk about on air. But let's talk about boxing.
So we got that fight coming up on the 17th. We're going to dive into that, but also we're going to talk Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, which was moved to December 5th. We'll jump into that after we talk about this big fight coming, which I think a lot of fans out there have really been looking forward to. If you follow any sort of boxing channels on YouTube, you'll see a lot of videos posted recently about this fight coming up. There's just, I don't know, there's a lot of hype getting into it. Mm-hmm. So, Travis, I want to defer to you for a second to talk about both athletes, both boxers. Give us the rundown of what you are looking for and what your expectation is for the big fight here between Lomachenko and Lopez.
Well, I'm going to go backwards a little bit because you just reminded me because of the December 5th Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia fight. the reason why it was moved was because of the Big C. So we have to do that first.
Okay, so
that's the beginning of the show.
All right.
So please explain to everybody what we have to do, but we have to do that first.
All right, Big C. So what we're talking, and this doesn't count.
I don't want to do any push-ups today, but this doesn't count.
I'm always good for push-ups.
I know you are, but I don't want to.
What I will say is, Travis, in the TH boxing facility this evening, it is hot as hell.
It is.
I am sweating. I have my towel here. I'm wiping sweat off. I'm on the second T-shirt already, and you can probably see I'm probably already sweating through this one.
What shirt is that?
That's
steel. Ooh.
it's a
Twisted Steel and Sex Appeal.
Oh yeah. See, I always said I was 205 pounds of Twisted Steel and Sex Appeal.
I agree.
I took that from Chris Jericho, another wrestling reference.
You're 100% on Halloween. You are dressing up as a wrestler.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
We'll see what happens.
But let's not get off topic too much.
We always do this.
The big
but,
C word.
So here's how it works out. If you've been joining us for a handful of weeks here, what we do is that there's a hoop over my head, right there, or to the side of my head.
It's Travis's 9-year-old hoop.
It's
It
Travis's.
gets younger every episode. It might be 8-year-old.
So it's about an 18-month-year-old hoop. And what we do is we shoot the ball. Okay, so anytime we say, and this won't count, anytime we say coronavirus or COVID-19, we might be up to 20 or 21 by the time we're done with this podcast. Are we ever done?
You're right.
Who knows? Either way. So what we do is that we shoot this ball. If one of us makes it, one of us shoots each time. This is my turn this week. If I make it, we're only doing 5 push-ups every time we say coronavirus, COVID, any of those sort of words tied to it. We can
China virus, coronavirus. Only thing that we are allowed to say is the C word.
Well, the big C.
The big C. Oh yeah.
Because parents wouldn't like it if we're actually saying the C word.
It's actually true.
Anyway, so if I miss it, it's 10 push-ups. Chances are it's going to be 10 push-ups because I have yet to make it.
And
Weekend Trav is the only one that really makes it every stinking week, it feels like.
I did 3 weeks, but then last week I missed it.
Last week, yeah, but it was a little rusty.
3 or 4, it was.
It was a little rusty.
I had 2 weeks off because of you. No, actually I didn't. I made it the previous week.
That's right.
Actually, that's a lie.
So
I lied.
what I like to do is I hedge myself. I shoot it behind my head so I can't just look horrible shooting it in orthodox.
I think you should shoot it orthodox.
Okay, well.
I think you should. Wait, you're not orthodox for one. Because you're unorthodox because you're a lefty.
Yeah.
But you bat from the wrong side of the plate. However, you're handicapped, so we should give you 2 shots.
I'm not sure if I like the phrase I bat from the wrong side. Okay. So bringing it back to sports and real life stuff. If you notice, my right hand, I write. My left hand, I shoot a basketball. I throw right-handed, but I do a lot of other
So
stuff.
you do all the other stuff the correct way.
I am ambidextrous.
That's not the word that I was going to say, but if you shoot with your left hand, it's a little off.
Okay.
All right. Brandon, give it your best go, okay, B-Money. Can you please do me a favor? Actually try to make it today. Of all days, Weekend Trav does not want to do push-ups today.
You know, it's the conditions in here. I'm hot.
It is hot.
You know, the ball's
Sweaty.
sticking funny.
You know what? There's humidity. It might like roll off the rim wrong.
I don't know.
But all I'm saying is, deep down inside, try to make this.
How deep?
You don't even have to
How
admit
deep?
it. Real deep. You don't even have to admit it. Wait, no. Just a tip.
For once, that was the actual "that's what she said" comment. I'm sorry, parents. It's still PG-13.
I can't even believe I said that.
We're-
Listen, can we just shoot now? That was
Yeah,
horrific.
now-
I didn't mean that. Take it back.
I'm assuming I'm probably going to go high and probably up to the side because I haven't shot on this yet. We were setting up and
We never practiced.
We never practiced,
We never
so-
practiced. To be honest, we don't. I don't dribble. I don't dribble. These dribbles are good though. I feel like these dribbles are healthy. Put it in the hoop, Brandon.
that was the usual free throw. Okay, ready? Airball. Airball.
I was
Airball.
excited because it was online
Well,
though.
because the problem is that when you look at that hoop, you're not sure, so you don't want to heave it too hard,
It was online.
and you don't
though.
want to heave it too soft. I went too soft.
I'm semi proud of you.
So that will be 10 push-ups every time we say the big C word. Big C is not a credit to us. It's a credit to Barstool Sports and Dave Portnoy. I never want to get that confused.
First of all, I don't care. We can call it the Big C all we want.
Oh, I know. But credit to them because they're awesome.
Yeah. Well, and you're correct. And you're also the producer, and you call the shots. And I appreciate that. Even though you missed the shots as well.
I did. Sorry.
Okay, we can get back to
I was closer going backwards, by the way. I was closer doing it behind my head.
You know what, though? What's weird is that you've been online backwards and frontwards. The line has been there. Your, distance is off. Even in reverse and forward.
Someone once said, just a bit outside.
So, that's a good movie.
Let's bring it back.
Just a bit outside.
Let's bring it back to this weekend. Big matchup here. I don't know if there's anything else on the undercard that's worth noting. I don't want to discredit anybody on that card, but we want to talk main event. So I'm going to toss it to you. Give us the rundown of both fighters, what you're expecting to see, and what your assessment and outcome will be, or your opinion of that.
Well, Vasyl Lomachenko is hands down top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. So it's going to be very difficult for me to pick against the guy who I regard as a top 3 pound-for-pound guy in the world. And what I mean by pound-for-pound, for listeners that don't know boxing, pound-for-pound means we rate you, doesn't matter what you weigh, we rate you on your skill and your performance no matter what weight you would be. So Vasyl Lomachenko is, 130, 135 pounds. So I rate him in pound-for-pound regards as if he was the same weight as a heavyweight, I think he would beat the top heavyweight. So that's what pound-for-pound means. So with that being said, he's fighting a guy named Teofimo Lopez, who is a young, undefeated knockout king, period. That's literally, you don't have to say much more about Teofimo Lopez. He is a knockout king, and he's got hand speed, he's got power in both hands. The guy can fight. So I'm going with my brain on this, because if I ever pick with my heart and my mind, my mind and my brain are a little different. Okay, it is. Okay, my mind is a little emotional. My brain is very, very factual. So when I choose something with my brain, that's when I make the right decisions. Okay? My mind can get in the way, my heart gets in the way, all of that. I've chosen this fight with my brain. So I'm usually pretty good with that.
What's the song? Is it R. Kelly or somebody? That my mind is telling me no.
No, who is it? That's not R. Kelly. That's,
but my body.
It's telling me. Yeah.
My body.
That's good.
Okay.
If I have my phone right now, which is not turned on, I would look it up.
Yeah.
I would actually play it even. But it's good. That's not R. Kelly. I don't think, actually. My initial reaction was, I don't think it is. This guy's pretty good.
I don't know if
I think he's older than R. Kelly. I'm not.
I'm not sure either.
The only R. Kelly song that I know for sure is Ignition.
Yeah.
I know that one.
And he's talking about some...
Okay. But anyways,
big digression.
So Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez.
Yes.
I am maybe in the minority, but I actually do think this fight will go the distance, meaning there will be a knockout. I think it'll be a decision.
Okay.
And I am predicting Lomachenko by unanimous decision. However, fight fans, listen, I'm right more times than I'm not, for sure. But you guys got to know that this fight is a fight that Lomachenko, in his last fight, he was clipped by Linares and put down. He's been put down a couple times now. So if Lomachenko lets Teofimo Lopez hit him like his previous opponents have, they could be trouble. So Lomachenko can punch. So can Lopez. So they're actually, even though I'm calling by a decision, I actually think I'm going out on a limb by calling it by a decision, because both of these guys have power. Lomachenko has power. Lopez has power.
And Lopez has the length, right? So Lomachenko wants to be inside and use his power.
Yeah, for the most part. But Lomachenko is such a very fast and reactive fighter that he doesn't have the reach, but he has the hand speed. He's got the reflexes. But what everybody knows in boxing and science even is that the first thing to go when you get a little bit older is your reflexes. So Lomachenko, by no means is he old, not even close. He's in his early 30s, I believe. Not old. However, Father Time is undefeated. So nobody ever knows when Father Time is going to show up. And when you have a style like Lomachenko, which is based on his athletic ability, his reaction speed, anything can happen. And the reason I say that is because one of my most favorite fighters of all time, and I've said this on the show before, is Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones did things that you don't teach other fighters to do. he got away with it because of his reaction speed, because of his natural ability, right? Well, as soon as that started to slow, even just a fraction, he got knocked out multiple times. And that dude was invincible. I don't care who you are. When you watched Roy Jones fight, you're like, yeah, that guy's not losing. He's not losing at all. But as soon as his speed and his reaction time slowed down, he ended up getting caught with some stuff because he wasn't fundamentally sound.
Yeah, so I think he'll eat some shots for sure. I mean, I don't think he's going to be immune to that. But has he been tested? Lomachenko, I'm talking. Has he been tested prior eating shots like that and being able to continue pushing forward?
Well, it's very difficult to compare him to a Lopez, but to a Teofimo Lopez, because Jorge Linares is very talented, very good, and that's who Lomachenko beat last. And Jorge can hit, and Jorge caught him clean and put him on the canvas, and he got right back up. So to say he hasn't been fully tested wouldn't be accurate. But has he been tested with a guy that like Teofimo Lopez? We don't know. But also, what needs to be said though is, has Teofimo Lopez been tested either?
Exactly.
And he hasn't.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of bookies and a lot of people, like natural fans, will watch this fight and not really know who to pick, because Lopez is phenomenal. Teofimo Lopez for sure is phenomenal, and I'm agreeing with that as an expert. And I'm agreeing with that. But Lomachenko's proven time and time again, year after year, what he can do and what he does do. So I'm leaning with the veteran for sure on this, but I'm also going to tell everybody that you got to watch this fight, because Lopez, by all means, has that it factor. That it factor is, it's a game changer. He can change the flow of a fight like that.
Yeah.
But what was really cool about this is, it's going to happen. You're going to see an ebb and flow for sure in this fight, meaning Lomachenko is going to be Lomachenko. He's not going to show you anything different than amazing. The dude's like a matrix. Dodges punches, hits punch. Like, the guy's phenomenal.
Right.
He beats people down. He breaks them down. But has he been in the ring with a guy like Teofimo Lopez? And the only thing about this is we're about to find out, because we don't know. Because Teofimo hasn't also been in the ring with a guy like Lomachenko. Period. So that's what makes this fight interesting, is that we can say all we want. Has Lomachenko been tested? We don't know for sure. But also, what I do know for sure, for a fact, is that Lopez hasn't been tested. I can tell you that for a fact. Has Lomachenko been tested? I think maybe by a guy like Linares, but he's never faced a guy like Lopez either. So that's why, like, I think the Vegas odds makers, it's a very tough job for them right now, because I think you have to slightly go with Lomachenko because he's the veteran and he's super talented. But Lopez is it's
a wild card.
That's a perfect word for it. He's a wild card because we don't know.
Yeah, so today's Sunday. By the time you're seeing this, probably Monday or maybe even Tuesday on YouTube. Spotify, you're going to be listening to this on a Monday. So this is Sunday evening, the 11th. The matchup is this coming weekend. So I haven't checked what the Vegas odds are yet on that. Obviously, that can move a little bit, as we approach the next couple of days.
Money moves that.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, I tell you what, the odds makers tend to get things pretty accurate.
They do.
So I'd be curious to see what that looks like in probably like 3 days, what it looks like there.
Closer that it gets for sure. Thursday, Friday, you're going to get an accurate reading.
So your final call on that one is Lomachenko by decision.
I'm calling Lomachenko by decision. And I'm really confident about that.
So not split, just full decision. Do you think overwhelmingly so? Or how do you see the round breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the deal: is I'm gonna call a unanimous decision, but But when people hear unanimous decision, they don't really understand what that actually means. Unanimous decision doesn't mean
Hold
that
on a
he
second. Hold on a second. Say it again.
Unanimous decision.
Are you saying it with an H?
Unanimous, I did.
You are, aren't you?
I feel like this is.
Do you say words like? Is that a Missouri thing?
I feel like this is a Family Guy episode where Stewie says whip cream.
Yeah, cool whip.
So
cool whip.
Cool whip. So
unanimous
decision. I don't think Missouri people say this, Brandon. I think that Travis, who's been sipping on some baby blue, which is what my eyes are.
They are. Take a look. I don't know if you can see it because we have a lot of lighting here, and there's a little bit of a whoop right there. Oh, there you are on mine. Oh yeah, do that again. That was a good one. There they are.
Okay.
We're going to talk about this after the break.
Yeah.
Mixed feelings on this, but let's keep going.
Unanimous decision.
Not Hugh.
Okay. Cool whip.
Cool
It's
whip.
Cool
Cool whip.
Why say an H? Okay. But unanimous decision.
Okay.
And when I say that, most people hear like, oh, unanimous decision, like, oh my God, but no. Unanimous decision only means that 3 of the judges believed the other guy won more rounds than the other guy, right? Which it's not indicative of the actual fight, because each one of those rounds could be super competitive, super close, but one guy has to win that round, one guy has to lose that round. So technically speaking, it doesn't usually happen this way, but 12 rounds are in a title fight, right? So Lomachenko could legitimately barely win 12 rounds and win a unanimous decision.
Mm-hmm.
So people hear that unanimous, oh my God, unanimous. But what they don't realize is that he could have barely won each individual round.
Then to the question, do you think it's going to be that kind of a tight decision, or do you think it's going to be, okay, we know that's pretty overwhelmingly towards Lomachenko?
Yes. I think that Lomachenko's going to win this decision pretty openly, because I think that Teofimo Lopez is young, explosive, phenomenal fighter. But what I'm going to try to compare this to, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't care. I'm going to say it, that when Canelo Alvarez fought Floyd Mayweather,
okay,
everybody knew. Both guys were undefeated. I think Canelo was like 46-0 something, and Mayweather was like 40-something-0 as well. And it was too soon for Canelo, because I believe Canelo has gotten so much better since he fought Floyd Mayweather.
I think so too.
Which is crazy, because he was already undefeated and good, but he's gotten phenomenally better. But I think this is going to be a similar situation, because I think Lomachenko, by all means, has the talent, has the speed, has the athleticism, he's the Matrix. Like, this guy's really good. But I think that what's going to happen is, and I think that's also why Lopez took the fight, was because if Lopez loses to Lomachenko, that's not really a loss.
Sure.
Everybody's going to look at that as like, oh, he lost to Lomachenko. Who cares?
So if you're going to compare it to when Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather, do you think Lopez is just going to kind of fall into the game plan of Lomachenko then? Because when I watched the Alvarez and Mayweather fight, it was like, oh, why isn't Canelo doing something? He's falling right into what Floyd Mayweather, the way that he wants a match to go about. He wasn't actually doing his deal. He wasn't involved in his game plan. He just fell right into Floyd's trap. Are you saying that's kind of the same thing? Lopez, he might come in with certain intentions, but nope, you're gonna be right into Lomachenko's game.
Well, it's like Mike Tyson has the most famous quote,
Sure,
and it's on memes, and I love it, is everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. So I do think Lopez has a genius plan for sure. They're good at what they do, period. Yep. They are. However, the one thing that's very difficult to do is there's only 2 guys in the world that I would say this about. It's about Floyd Mayweather and Lomachenko. So when you're preparing and training for a fight, you try to bring in sparring partners that can come close to emulating the guy you're fighting.
Sure.
Okay? Well, the only thing bad about that is that there's nobody like Floyd Mayweather. There's nobody like Lomachenko. So whoever the Lopez camp is trying to bring in to emulate him, which is, they're probably doing a phenomenal effort to do that, right? For sure.
Sure. But
it's impossible. You're not. Period. So I've talked to many guys that have been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. I actually had a really good friend in the amateurs that was actually a sparring partner with Floyd Mayweather, and he told me, he was like, Travis, he's like, I fought the best in the world as an amateur, traveled to Ukraine, to Russia, to Australia, to all those places, right? He goes, the one guy that I could never prepare for was a Floyd Mayweather. He goes, his hand speed and his reaction time was just, there's nobody that can match that.
Right.
So that's why some of these guys are impossible to beat, because when you're preparing, you can do everything right. And this is why Lopez, I know that he's doing everything right in his training camp right now. He is. He's a hard worker. I know they got smart people with them because he's with Top Rank. It's Bob Arum. They know what they're doing. They do. But this is what's special about boxing is you can do all of the right things, have all of the right pieces that you think at the time, and you can still lose a fight because you are fighting a guy who, by all means, this is I'm putting Loma in, like, this isn't completely fair to Mayweather, but I'm putting Lomachenko up there in that talk of a Mayweather because he's that special that there's no chance that Lopez and them are bringing in sparring partners that can even come close to emulating a Lomachenko.
Okay, so we have the thoughts on the actual fight. Now, let me, still surrounding the fight a little bit, let me ask you this, because I was reading some comments on some different YouTube channels and some videos that were posted, and one user made an interesting comment that I wanted your take on, and it had to do with, are we just trying to shoot for the next great white hype? And I don't mean that in a racial sense, but just kind of the terminology of the thing. Is that why there's so much, it seems to be so much backing and support and thought that Lomachenko is going to walk through Lopez, maybe not walk through him, but should handily beat him? Is it because it's kind of pushing that next great white hype sort of story? I
mean, they can, and when I say they, I'm talking about the media, and I really don't give a crap about the media.
No, they're horrible.
They're wrong 99% of the time.
No.
They're pushing a narrative. But
if you come here, we're right 99% of the time. That's where you should come.
We really are, though.
Yeah.
So, no, that narrative is BS because nobody's pushing that. Because Lomachenko is, okay, I'll tell you Lomachenko. Lomachenko started out his pro career. He fought, Brandon, for a world title in his second ever professional boxing match. Okay? This guy's special. So great white hype, the meaning behind great white hype is that you're hyping a guy that hasn't done anything yet. It's hype. You're talking about he's phenomenal. You've seen him in the gym. He's supposed to be this next great thing, blah, 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 right?
But also that there's been a lull in the sport, with African-American and Hispanic domination.
Because it is, and and you're right. You're 100% right because and this is a fact, and I've been in boxing my whole life, but this is a fact. As a white person, I am a minority in boxing, which is a fact. Blacks and Mexicans run the sport. They do. They're usually the most dominant, so you're 100% right when you say that.
And Filipino.
I mean, very true. But they're also...
Well, there's only really one. There's only like one that we could talk about, Filipino, yeah.
Well, they got some others coming up, too.
They do, but household names.
Yes, you're 100% right. So when I hear the word great white hype for Lomachenko, I just kind of laugh because the dude's more than hype. The dude's proved it. The dude's legit. So I wouldn't call him the great white hype just because I have more respect for him because he's more than hype. When somebody says hype, to me, when somebody says hype, it means that they're not proven.
Yeah.
He's proven.
Well, it's like the one movie years ago with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie with Damon Wayans.
Damon Wayans.
Yep, he was the
whole time he's just eating the whole time, and then
big fat belly.
Getting fat, and then they get in the ring, and there's 2 seconds, and he knocked the guy out.
Yeah. Oh, you're trying to embarrass me? The great white hype. They built, and so you know what though? But that movie though is very indicative of boxing and promoters. They try to emotionally charge people.
That sounds like the media. Holy moly.
So
we're not getting into politics yet. We haven't drank enough.
No.
You have. I haven't.
But you're right though. But seriously, that's what's funny and not funny about boxing is that there's always a narrative that they're trying to push, and the fact that they're trying to call Lomachenko the great white hype is funny to me because you don't need to push that at all because the dude is legit. He's not hype. So that's why I don't buy into that whole. Is Lomachenko the next great white? No, he's not. You know why he's not the great white hype?
Because there's no hype.
Because he is it.
He brings it. He brings the wood.
He's the it guy. But what's funny about that is he's the it guy. However, Lopez is the up and coming future maybe it guy. So that's why this fight is super awesome.
And either way, for the fans, it's awesome. For people like us that analyze these sort of matches and boxing in general, it's awesome. We're looking forward to this fight. I think it's going to be a great time. You mentioned a quote from Mike Tyson about everyone has a game plan and then they get punched in the face, right? So with that, we have a game plan here for today's episode, or I could just punch you in the face and see where it goes. Do you want that?
I don't support that.
Okay, so the game plan then is that we're going
What's the other game plan then?
Well, the game plan is
that was plan A.
We talked about
What's plan B?
We talked about this big matchup. Great, we've given a lot of time to that. Let's move on to the one coming in December, which the date was just moved.
Yep.
So December 5th on Fox pay-per-view, you're going to have Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia at AT&T Stadium. You like to say it's Cowboy Stadium.
First of all, not that I like to say that, because one, I don't even if they were playing and they were losing last time I watched, but the Dallas Cowboy Stadium has actually become a pretty big venue for boxing matches. Manny Pacquiao's fought there. Canelo Alvarez has fought there.
Well, it's a massive venue
it holds
anyways.
like 100,000 people.
Listen, it's a beautiful, beautiful facility. I have not been there. You said you've been there before.
Multiple times.
I wish I could be there. All I know is that my guy, Aaron Rodgers, loves playing there, okay? I don't know if he's lost there.
Well, you know what? Whatever.
Okay, either way.
A lot of people have won there.
So December.
So that's not saying anything.
So December 5th, Fox pay-per-view, we have that fight coming up. The date was moved, but the biggest takeaway from them moving the date that I drew was their fans in the stadium.
God bless Texas.
So let's see here. Let's talk about this fight. Let's talk about this fight before
100%.
break.
I love this.
So let's talk about all aspects, but I wanted to get your take on Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. We've talked about them for a few weeks here and there over the last handful of weeks. Obviously, we have Errol Spence coming off of the big car wreck, which is almost a little over a year now, a couple days over a year.
A couple days ago was a year to the date.
Yeah, so Errol Spence bouncing back, big matchup with Danny Garcia, December 5th, Weekend Trav. Hit me with it.
Dude, I don't want to hit you because I love you, but
I still owe you a shot in the stomach we didn't do last week.
No, you do not owe me anything.
The Godfather wanted me to do it.
I just want to let you know that, Brandon, you don't owe me anything.
Okay.
Okay, we're even.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. But I know that my dad wanted you to do that, but the Godfather is not speaking.
Actually, a lot of people gave hearts.
I know, but we didn't do. You know what? We didn't do live today, so that's how we're gonna get away with this because
I blame your iPhone.
Yeah. By the way, guys, iPhone SE. I don't know how to. Twice now, it's just turned off randomly. It won't turn on. It won't even charge. However, let's go back to Errol Spence.
There we go.
Garcia.
That's what we're talking about.
Errol Spence just got in I posted the picture on my that's actually the first time I've seen that picture. I posted on our Instagram page at Weighing In with Travis Hardman. We're on Instagram. We're also on YouTube. We're also on Spotify. We're everywhere. But I posted that picture to the Instagram page, I believe. I'll share it on there later. But so you can go look at it on Weighing In with Travis Hardman. There's a picture of Errol Spence. He was driving a Ferrari, I believe it was. At 2 or 3 a.m., he was drinking. The guy was a young phenom, world champion, rich.
Nothing good ever happens after 2 a.m.
You know what? My mom actually said this to me.
Actually, there's plenty of good in the moment.
We think.
But when you have money and you have a fast car and you're wasted, the stuff that could happen that's good after 2 a.m., you don't remember.
Yeah. Well, my mom said that nothing good ever happens after midnight.
Shout out to Mom.
And my she's right. Because even though I might have thought at the time it was good, Brandon, when I go home and I think I look back, I'm like, you know what? Damn it, Moms. You were so right. Brandon, nothing in my life, everything great that has happened before midnight.
Before midnight. See, Weekend Trav all the time. He's trying to get me out after 2 a.m. I'm like, no, Weekend Trav, go home.
First of all, that's happened once. Weekend Trav happened once. And it wasn't even after midnight yet. I think I texted you before.
I was kidding because I want to be awake to answer that text. So,
yeah. So, by the way, Mom is right.
Mom's always right.
Mom literally, dude, Mom was I was so mad at her, though. I was like, Mom, we're just trying to have fun. We're just kids. We're not. And to be fair, though, but to be fair, I was never a crazy kid and doing crazy
Missouri?
stuff. This was Missouri.
Were you cow tipping or something at 2 a.m.?
Right. You know what we did? Seriously? Sorry, cows, but I'm going to tell the story.
It was a cow tipping story? I was just joking.
It wasn't cow tipping, but it had to do with cows.
Oh.
We shot cows with a paintball gun. They're such thick skin.
This is such a Missouri story.
They barely even, I'm not even kidding, the cows
sorry.
barely moved.
Okay, I'm sorry.
When we shot them.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to discredit Missouri at all.
You kind of do.
No, because I grew up in a rural town here in Florida, and they did Missouri type things too.
Yep. You guys were your country. You're a country here.
So, but that's why I understand it. That's why I'm like, did you go cow tipping? And you're like, no, but it was close. It was its cousin. We shot paintballs.
It was his cousin. Because what people don't realize, though, okay, this is also a very big myth. It's very difficult to push a cow over.
It is.
And they don't usually sleep that much at night. We're going out to mess with cows, and they're freaking running from us.
Has anyone ever seen Tommy Boy?
Yeah, exactly. Is that crud? No, it's mud. But listen, we tried that stuff, didn't work. So you know what? These guys, listen, cows they have very thick skin. I researched this, so like I'm not a mean person, I'm not. But we shot them with little paintball guns that were bought at Walmart, like CO2 powered, like little bitty CO2s, like BB gun type CO2 cartridges. Wasn't that bad. We shot each other with them before, and it wasn't that bad. So we shot cows with them.
PETA is going to be all over our butt.
I know, PETA. You know what?
Suck it, I'm going to tag PETA.
Suck it, PETA.
Okay.
I'm a humanitarian. I love animals. These cows.
Well, humanitarian is with people. It's not with animals. Humanitarian. Humanitarian.
Okay, but I am also a people and animal-tarian.
I'm just messing with you.
First of all, you said PETA, so I was talking about animals. Whatever. Animals, they did not hurt them. I'm telling you right now that those cows, I watched during the day, they're like swatting away freaking flies.
Yeah.
When we shot them with paintball guns, they were very low-grade paintball guns because there's some powerful ones. They were. But we had like low-grade ones because we were like cheap. But those cows barely moved. They literally, I swear to God, when we were shooting them, we had spotlights because we wanted to see how they reacted. And we were like, hey, how's this cow going to react? Let's shoot this cow and see. This cow literally, I swear, Brandon, it swiped its tail. We shot it on the butt. It goes, and I'm like,
ain't a thing.
Not a thing. But to be fair, we did shoot other animals too, meaning possums.
Okay.
They're not good. Like they're nuisances.
They are nuisances, but listen, they're just trying to live.
They are.
They can't see very well. That's why they're out at night.
But to be fair, them as well. We never killed a possum with a paintball gun. The possum was just like, oh, like it scared them. That was it. Literally, their skin is so thick it scared them. So I'm like, we're fine.
I have a possum story, but we're not going to talk about it on air.
Ooh.
Because PETA will be mad.
You know what, PETA?
I'm sorry.
PETA,
I was trying to make my
come for me, PETA.
I was trying to make my backyard great again. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
so,
like
all right, we were supposed to be starting to talk about Errol Spence and Danny Garcia.
Should we talk about when we come back from break, or should we talk
Let's
about
do
now?
that. Okay, so let me check the time here. Yeah, it's about the good time for a little cutoff. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about that new date, the big matchup here on Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, December 5th at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, otherwise known as Cowboy Stadium. We will also talk about, speaking of Texas, we'll talk about this Balcones Baby Blue. I don't want to give away too much, but and so we'll chat about that. Travis, any Midway closing thoughts before break?
No, I'm very, very, very happy that you said Dallas Cowboy Stadium instead of just AT&T. So I'm proud of you. As the producer and the controller of this show, I applaud you.
I might as well call it Aaron Rodgers Stadium. So if you haven't...
I hate you. Now I hate you.
I know you do. For those that are following or liking our content, thank you very much. If you haven't already, please subscribe below. Hit the bell icon, please, as well. That helps us. Or if you're getting us on Spotify, subscribe to that content as well. We go live here, not live, but we put this content out once a week, our podcast. But also, if you're following us on YouTube, we put other stuff out throughout the week as well, just because we love you guys.
And we want to make you money because I'm pretty good with my predictions.
No, we don't promise that. We don't promise that. Thanks again to our media partners so far, TH Boxing, Gulfstream Financial, as well as IF Enterprises. We will be back in a few moments. It'll feel like about 8 seconds, but if you're listening on Spotify, just stay tuned to the interlude music, and we'll be back right after that.
Bounce, go wow wow.
All right.
Get it? Got it?
Good. You're going to get got. All right, so we are back after our break, and we're going to jump into Errol Spence, Danny Garcia here in a minute. But we first wanted to highlight the beverage of choice this evening. It's from Balcones. It's their Baby Blue corn whiskey from Texas.
Go Texas. Sorry.
Yeah. What I'll say here, Weekend Trav, is that it's not my favorite. It is. It's got an interesting aftertaste and aroma. I mentioned this to you in pre-production that when you're drinking it, it's almost as like it has a weird, like almost a tequila vibe.
Can I tell you what is my favorite about it?
What's that?
Its name, Baby Blue.
Baby Blue.
That's my favorite name so far.
There we go. There's a little bit of a glare on the
color
lights, but there you go. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. Honestly, Weekend Trav, I don't think I'm going to be purchasing this again. But if Balcones wants to send us something, because I know they have a couple other things, but this one in general is just It's just
Yeah. You know what? B-Money as a financial advisor and keep me in check with money issues, I would say that you're right. I would not waste my money again.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. Here's what I would say. I haven't had one yet that I would say never ever buy. I would say you guys can try it, but for me and you, I don't think I would try it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not terrible,
no,
right? It's not terrible.
I really think if you're getting into, as we have started to do, getting into like the bourbon and whiskeys and things like that, you got to try everything, right?
Yep.
And obviously there's reviews are mixed online of all these things. Even this has mixed reviews. Some love it, some hate it. But I'd say you got to try it. You got to try what's best for your palate. It might not be best for you, might not be best for me, but if you like it, you like it. I personally don't like it too much, but I'm going to drink it.
Same.
Because you know what?
It's here.
You know, the more dead booze soldiers, the better. I'm going to drink it. Right? So this is so once again, it's a Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey. That's probably why it's given the weird taste at
We've
the end.
never had a corn whiskey before.
No, and it's out of Waco, Texas.
So my dad is from that area.
Okay.
He actually calls it Waco, Texas.
Well,
I think the rest of the country does as well.
Well, because of
David Koresh.
David Koresh. If you haven't watched that Netflix series, that was their take.
The Branch Davidians.
Yeah.
I believe.
So it wasn't fully accurate, but it was an interesting series nonetheless on Netflix. Man, we could talk about that for like an hour. Longer.
That was, you know what was very, okay, we could.
Let's talk about it. Let's just for a few minutes.
A little bit.
Producers giving 5 minutes. Let's talk.
See, that's why I love you. You're such a good producer.
Branch Davidians, Waco, Texas.
So I watched that series, but I also watched it live going on because my dad was a super news junkie. My dad loved like foreign news, domestic news. My dad loved it all. So I have to give credit to the Godfather, Terry Hartman. Love you, Pops. But I watched a lot of that. And what I will say now after watching that, I think it was on Netflix, right? It was a Netflix series. Okay. Well, I'm not a big fan of Netflix, so I'll give you guys that first. But I watched that series, and what I took away from that was, as a government, we actually took a lot of presidents, not legally, into that whole deal. I'll tell you right now, for sure, I didn't believe in the Branch Davidians. I didn't. Okay. However, for the most part, I didn't think they were hurting society. Okay, David Koresh actually did do a lot of messed up stuff because I believe he impregnated some young
impregnated
girls.
Underage girls.
Didn't agree with that. Didn't agree with that. Overall, a lot of the people there, and I thought they were positive. Besides that, like that's terrible.
Well,
there shouldn't ever be a besides.
Well, it was
impregnating 12-year-old girls.
It was an odd operation that started with ATF because they were gun running too. Okay, which Texas like turned the other way on that, like or at least local officials. So ATF was involved first before the FBI got involved, and then also there was some sort of a. And sorry, I'm not a historian by any means, but they had both those organizations just messed up.
They did.
Another situation in the Northwest somewhere.
Yep.
So they were almost trying to make a point, right? And it was just not a good scene.
By the way that I viewed it and watched it and like legally talked to a bunch of people that are lawyers stuff, like they broke a lot of laws. Mm-hmm. They did, and I think the FBI admitted that later.
The FBI breaking laws and the government breaking laws.
Right?
Like creating a Russia hoax?
Wait, Brandon, the government broke the rules?
Wow.
Adios mio. What?
That's the thumbnail shot. Sorry.
That's
I wanted to
perfect.
hold on. 12:04 thumbnail. When this is when you're producing a podcast or a YouTube channel and it's a small operation, you got to jot a lot of notes down. There's a lot that goes into it.
First of all, I don't appreciate calling us small, but
no, it's not. Well, okay. Either way, you got to think about algorithm, thumbnail. You got to think about posting. You got to edit. There's a lot that goes into this, folks. So we appreciate all the 10s and 15s of you.
Let's get into 15s.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But I want to go ahead and let you know that you're not doing good producing because we're getting shadow banned because of our views that are very conservative. We're getting shadow banned.
Well, we can't.
Stop it.
Can't
Stop it.
help that. Hold on a second.
Stop it.
I'm just gonna set this blue cup right here if you're watching on YouTube. So anyway, let's not dive too far into the Branch Davidian stuff because it's kind of a messed up story. What we're supposed to be talking about, and we're going to talk about, Weekend Trav.
Yes, sir.
Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, December 5th, AT&T/Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Let's talk. Talk to me, just like we did with Lomachenko and Lopez. Give me a breakdown of the fighters in general, the storyline behind it, your thoughts leading into the fight, and also your prediction or your thoughts post-fight. What do you think the outcome's going to be here?
Well, first of all, it's not AT&T Stadium/Cowboys. It's Cowboy Stadium. But
who's the logo on the stadium?
They sold it, but whatever. It's Cowboy Stadium. So everybody listening, Dallas Cowboy Stadium is hosting a boxing match. But great story because multiple reasons. Errol Spence, literally a couple of days ago, is a year from wrecking his Ferrari, going like, who knows, over 100 miles per hour, drinking, really bad accident. He hasn't ever fought since. So he's getting ready to fight Danny Garcia, who's a 2-time world champion, December 5th at the Dallas Cowboy Stadium. They originally announced it. I can't remember where it was going to be at, but I believe it was November. I don't remember where, but they finally came to their senses, in my opinion, and are now allowing fans. So that is actually why the Dallas Cowboy Stadium stepped up and said, hey, have the fight here, which I know the promoters were happy about because when boxing match happens, we make the most money from our direct sales.
Well, everyone's happy. Everyone's happy. Not only the promoters, the fighters, the fans. I mean, everyone's happy to see this.
You're right, actually, because fighters, like as a fighter myself for over 16 years, I love to fight with fans. I don't even care. If it was an empty stadium, you could pay me $1 million, I wouldn't be happy. Because I'd be like, I need people there. Either screaming for
$1 million, you'd be pretty happy.
Briefly. But ultimate happiness would be like people screaming for me or against me. I'm okay with that too. Because I've been in hostile situations. I fought in Germany as an American fighting a German. I've been in not Mexico, but Texas, border of Mexico, fought Chavez
Mexico
Jr.
North. Got it.
Yes, for sure. There you go. And so I've been in hostile environments and I understand it. And I like it though. I genuinely like it. I like it when people root against me. I like when people root for me. It makes the sport so much better.
Sure.
Also for a fighter,
it's energy. You got energy.
We do. I literally, people tell me like, "Oh, do you hear the fans?" And I was like, I mean, I don't hear individually a person, but I hear the fans.
Yeah.
And I feed off of that for sure. Like I have multiple videos on YouTube where people are cheering for me, and you could hear them while I was fighting. I don't remember it. But if you go back to the film, they start chanting, Hartman, Hartman, and knock the guy out.
I'm pretty sure you can hear that in our intro.
You're right. That's exactly one of the videos.
Interesting.
And that's actually, you're perfectly right. That is a video where I actually don't remember in the ring hearing that, but I know for a fact that I actually heard that, if that makes sense. I was like, Hartman. When I knocked the guy out, genuinely, I promise you. In the ring, I was like, I didn't hear nothing. After the fight was over, I watched the video back. I was like, oh my God. I was like, they were chanting Hartman. But I know that subconsciously I heard that, and that would spurred me on. So yes, 100%. I believe that the fans can spur you on. I believe they affect the outcome of not just boxing, Brandon. A lot of events, basketball, baseball, hockey.
I think it
whatever
definitely.
you want to take, football.
I
Home
think
field advantage
fans
means something.
fans definitely sway officials, umpires, refs. Fans have an influence on that. Judges, line judges, whatever it might be. The fan interaction and the sound of it, everything affects that. My small school example of that has to do with I've referenced stuff like this for the past few weeks because I'm in the middle of a flag football season with my son's team. Same thing. I mentioned last week, you got to butter that bread, you got to butter that roll. So I'm in the ear of the ref all the time. And so on the sidelines, I'm not only complaining, but I'm also like giving him cred, doing this and that.
Awesome.
No, I'm not saying that stuff, but you give them props, or you say, yeah, maybe you start talking to them because they've been out there all day, and the calls,
they're human at the end of the day.
The calls start to be a little more flexible, right? We had an interaction this past Saturday or yesterday where the call was completely incorrect on his part, but the other line judge, called flags pulled. So I don't know. There's a situation where you can have a good influence, and that's me as a coach. But if there's fans also involved, it changes the outlook of a sporting event 100%. Completely.
Agreed.
You look at football, those refs want to leave like certain cities alive. If you're in Philly and you call something against the Eagles at the wrong time in the game, those jokers better get in the bus quick and get out of Philly.
You got fans jumping from like upper level.
Yeah.
Like stupid stuff.
Yeah. In Green Bay, they would just, hey, we didn't agree with your call, but I'm going to shake your hand.
Brandon, why are you, you don't even believe that.
What do you mean?
Whatever.
We're respectful.
No, you're not. You guys, okay, you know what? You know what I'll tell you? You show me a good loser, and I will show you a loser. So the fact that I know for a fact Aaron Rodgers, as much as it pains me to admit this, is not a loser. So if he loses in Green Bay,
which hasn't happened much.
Mother effer is not just, oh, I'm sorry you beat me.
No, of course not.
He's not.
So just like you have your little catch story, which makes you a poor loser, but also a loser.
I'm 100% a poor loser.
I
do not
have
like to lose.
several years ago the Fail Mary in Seattle. When we were
funny.
dealing with scab refs at the time, okay? The main refs were on strike, and we were dealing with freaking replacement refs. Last play of the game, Russell Wilson, who's amazing, I'm not going to take away from him, throws it to Golden Tate. No one's ever heard of Golden Tate before. Golden Tate, and
as a fantasy footballer, I have.
Now you have, but at the time, everyone's like, Yeah. Our DB, who probably isn't playing anymore, he got the interception. But somehow, they both caught it at the same time. They're both on the ground at the same time, wrestling over it. One line judge says, or no, he does this, interception, and another one runs in from not even in the play, runs in.
Oh, touchdown, okay.
And they go to booth review, and somehow, even though every, on the TV channel, I can't remember which station it was on, they always have the former head ref. He's like, no, that's going to be an interception, Green Bay victory. Nope. It goes down as a Fail Mary, which also is what, in that season, brought the real refs back onto the field because the NFL could not handle that crap anymore. So, am I a poor loser on that game? Yeah. Which makes me a loser.
No, it doesn't, actually.
You just said it. It's your words.
No, you're a poor loser. You're not a loser then. If you're a good loser,
I'm not
a loser. Exactly, so
no,
you're not.
we won that game.
Okay, so you're a poor loser. I respect that, actually.
Okay, because you're a poor loser too, because we beat you guys
I'm a poor
with Des
loser
Bryant.
because the simple fact, you just made me remember the catch.
But in the rules of that year, it was not a catch.
First of all, in the rules of the year that your guy, if it's a tie, meaning they both have 50-50.
Yeah, but when they hit the ground, the DB got it. The DB had it.
Listen, first of all, Seattle, I don't believe.
I can't believe they're always that good. How are they that good all the time? I'm sorry.
How are we
Hold
that
on.
bad? No.
I'm sorry, Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. We're off topic.
How are we that bad all the time? And we have one of the biggest salaries in the NFL. I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's just kind of fun to watch you guys stink.
You know what?
It is. It's funny.
I take it back. You're a good loser. You're not a sore loser. You're a good loser because you like to lose.
Well, you guys in Texas don't make a very good whiskey. So.
Did we? That's bad. Wait, I wish I could turn my phone on right now so I could look up if Cowboys won or lost. They were losing when we started the podcast.
I'm gonna assume.
I'm gonna assume to a very bad team.
I'm gonna assume that Dak had about 400 yards passing, and you guys lost.
You know what? I'm not mad at you for that because
you guys have our leftover coach. You have our leftover coach. What do you expect is going to be different from Mike McCarthy when he took a year off?
He's a good coach.
Really? Really? Okay. So
I listen. I'm going to be honest. Mm-hmm. How many games are we in? 4 games in the season?
Yeah, this is week 5.
Okay. So I'll be honest. Haven't watched a single game yet. Mm-hmm. I've got updates because I'm a fantasy footballer, but I actually haven't turned on the TV and watched a full game. I'll be 100% honest with that, and it's multiple reasons for sure.
Sure.
I am a little bit boycotting. A little bit.
Yeah.
Openly, no, but to be 100% honest, if I was, that's a good call. Mm-hmm. I'm not boycotting them, Brandon, but I'm also just very upset at the whole how it's all played out, the whole NFL and what's going on right now with with the season and some of the things that they're standing for.
Well, okay.
Or kneeling for. But wait.
I don't think the kneelings happen too much anymore. They're putting names on the backs of the helmets.
Really?
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Because I want to give credit where credit's due right now.
I haven't watched because I'm just turned off a little bit by that.
Okay, well, I'm not as my convictions don't run as deep because I just love football and I got to watch it.
But that's why I'm not 100%. That's not from a conviction. That is also from a priority standpoint where I used to prioritize because I'm very busy. I used to prioritize watching football, but now because of that, I have not prioritized.
Yeah, so
that's
I'll agree with you on that.
Not that I'm like openly my convictions are that strong because they're not. Because I do like football.
Sure, I'll agree with you on that then because I don't go out of my way right now to watch. I didn't watch 1 minute last week or this week. Well, I watched Thursday night. I wanted to see what happened with Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, and they sucked.
Holla.
So I want to get back on topic though. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. I'm sorry, we went off like we were talking about Waco, Texas, Branch Davidians.
You told me to talk about that.
Well, yeah, for 5 minutes, but then it became like, I don't even know. So let's talk about those two. And I know we have some time. There's some runway, but I want to bring it up because it's relevant. They just changed the date.
We did talk about them a little bit. That's why we talk about Cowboy Stadium.
Okay, so let's talk for a handful of minutes then because I'm sure before December 5th we'll talk again in depth.
For sure.
Now, if I'm looking at the calendar in my mind accurately, that's the week after Tyson Jones Jr., if that date stands.
Oh, yeah, that's like November 23rd.
28th, I think? Well, it's around Thanksgiving. So
no, I think it's 2 weeks after. I think it's 23rd.
I still feel like there's a coin flip whether or not that moves again. But let's talk Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, December 5th. And give me your takeaway in the moment now and what you think is going to be the outcome of that fight.
Again, I'll reiterate the cool thing about that is they moved it to December 5th so they can have fans at Dallas Cowboy Stadium, and they put it at a place to where they can have 50,000 plus, which is positive because, one, Cowboy Stadium holds 100,000 plus. So when they have boxing matches there, it's a positive thing. If you can get 50,000 people there, they're very, very happy because I remember Pacquiao fought there, and there was like 50,000 people there. So Errol Spence is actually from Texas, so that's a very, very positive move on their part. Because I think right now Errol Spence needs all the support he can get because I'll be honest, I think Errol Spence has the makings to be great. Not good, great. So a friend of mine showed me this book. It's called Relentless. There's like 3 types of people. And the highest type of person, they're called cleaners. Okay? I think Errol Spence has the ability to be a cleaner. And what I mean by that is, in this book, they consider people like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. They're considered cleaners, which in a lot of people's eyes, I would say closers. If you're a baseball person, I'll give you that analogy. So what I want to say is that I think that Errol Spence has the ability to be a cleaner. He's that good. He really is. However, he just got in a almost fatal accident where most people looked at him. And I posted the picture, and I'll repost it.
Just over a year ago,
a couple of days ago. It's been exactly a year. In
Yep.
his Ferrari, he was drinking. He made a bad decision. He's a young guy. He is. Everybody deserves grace. We all
Sure.
do. We talked about this many episodes, but we do. We all deserve grace because we're not perfect. We're all sinners. However, this was about a year ago, and he hasn't boxed since, and a lot of people thought he would never box again. So the fact that, I've said it on the show, the fact that he's coming out and fighting Danny Garcia, who is a 2-time world champion. Errol Spence is fighting him his first fight back. So if we're in October, November, December, by the time the fight happens, it will have been, what is that?
About 14 months.
14 months since he'd last been in the ring. No.
No, like further than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be 14 months since he last had this accident.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. Like, it's a big deal. And Danny Garcia can fight, okay? I said that many times, but Errol Spence, in my opinion, beats Danny Garcia 9 times out of 10 if he doesn't get in the car accident. Now that he's been in the car accident, dude, it's a roll of the dice, Brandon. I'm going out on a limb and saying that I made my prediction. I'm going to stick by it, that I think Errol Spence wins. I don't know how yet, and I'll make it as the time comes closer, but I think he wins. However, if they would have fought before he got in this accident, I think Errol Spence wins by knockout.
Sure.
Which is actually going out on a limb still, because Danny Garcia has never been knocked out. Ever. He's a 2-time world champion. Never been knocked out. Only been beat by a couple of the greats. A couple of the good elite division people. So the fact that Errol Spence is choosing to fight Danny Garcia, his first fight back, like, huge. He deserves. What I want to say is, when Errol Spence walks down the road, sparks fly. This guy's got balls of steel. Okay. Literally. Because the fact that he chose Danny Garcia to fight his first fight back, this dude's massive, dude. This dude's an alpha. This dude's an alpha.
So let me clarify. The sparks then...
Not a beta.
The sparks then is because both are made of steel.
Balls of steel.
And when he walks, they...
It's the friction.
Okay. I was just double checking, like the analogy.
The friction.
Okay. So this is going to be a tough one, right? It's going to be a tough one. And I give complete credit to Errol Spence. Jump right back in.
Massive credit.
Massive. That's to me, that's already a mental win. If you're willing and able and to jump right back in, the accident's behind him. He's already. And I saw some posts that he made on the anniversary of it. The fact, and it just seems like mentally he has more clarity with it. And to be able to jump into a big situation like that, first fight back, is incredible. Any athlete that can do that, jump right back in. So it'll be, I don't know, I got to see the training camps. I got to see how it's going. I mean, we have about a month and a half. Yep. It's a tough one to call. It's a tough one.
I mean, it really, it really is, because of that very factor that, like, dude, it's a roll of the dice. Because one, if you do your homework, people, listen to us, but also do your homework. If you go back and Google that, a lot of people thought Errol Spence would never. Not only would he never fight again, they're like, this dude's like, he's going to be like very unhealthy the rest of his life. The fact that he's fighting again is like, it's a semi-miracle, like, for sure, like, literally really is. So the fact that I'm actually still predicting he's going to win, everybody's like, oh, big deal, Travis, you're predicting Errol Spence to win. He's really good. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy, because this guy was literally on the brink of death.
Don't know. I think it's pretty...
Look at the picture. Look at the video.
It's pretty split on people's predictions here between the two. So like we had mentioned in weeks prior that if these guys are meeting in a situation outside of the actual reality of it, of the car accident, whatever else, that Errol Spence probably wins handily. But times have changed. It's been a year. Obviously, that tragic issue happened. He's bounced back from it, but
Has
he
he
the
though?
same?
Has he bounced
We don't
back
know.
from it though?
We don't know.
We don't know.
So then we don't know the details other than maybe it's because you get the different venue, you get fans involved, why they moved the date. We don't know the underlying details.
Who knows if they moved the date because he's not ready?
Right.
We don't know that yet.
Right.
Yet. But
Or ever.
You better believe I'll find that out.
Okay. Well, Weekend Trav will figure that out. So we're excited about that fight too. We say it here a lot. There's a lot of good, exciting boxing matches coming over the next few months as we close out this year. Obviously, this weekend, we've talked about it with Lomachenko and Lopez. That's going to be a blockbuster matchup. We referenced it, but we have the not amateur bout. We have the exhibition bout between Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson on Triller.
That's also next month.
That's
We have
next
a while
month.
to prep that.
And then we have this one coming, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia in December. There's other stuff that was rumored, so far hasn't come to fruition, which we don't think it will at this point. De La Hoya was talking about coming out of retirement and doing something.
Tyson Fury,
but it just seems like things
I
have...
just heard that Tyson Fury might not fight Deontay Wilder. I just heard that. I'm not going to source my source, but I'm pretty sure if you're listening to us and I end up being right, give us some credit, give us a share, give us a like. But I'm pretty sure Tyson Fury is going to forego his original rematch clause with Deontay Wilder and relinquish his belt and fight whoever he wants, which could be Anthony Joshua.
That's interesting. And okay, he gives up a lot there, but also it's like, what's the point other than money?
And to be completely fair, listen, I'm an American. I love America. I love to root for Americans. And Deontay Wilder is an American heavyweight champion. He's the last American heavyweight champion since Shannon Briggs, which was like early 2000s, mid 2000s. However, I'm also a realist, and I also know that Tyson Fury beat him twice.
Listen, we were here for the second one. We were at your place, and you called it. You called how it was going to go down.
And he should have beaten the first
one. The rest of us in the house were like, I think Deontay Wilder, by...
He almost knocked him out the last one.
By knockout or something. Because why? Because we're sheep, and we were fed by the media as to what could possibly happen, and we went with it.
You're right. In the house where we were at, watching that fight, I believe I was the only one that...
Yes, you were. And they were showing all, like, them in the locker rooms, and we're like, oh, my gosh, Tyson Fury's not taking it seriously. Deontay Wilder looks honed in. He looks focused.
Which he was, though. You're not wrong
but
about that.
But to a point, you can be too focused. You can be too intense on the moment rather than any athlete, professional, amateur, whatever it is. Yes, there's a level of going into an event serious-minded, focused in, but there has to be a little bit of relaxation too, right? You can't just step and be all business, or else I don't know. To me, that's my opinion.
I think there's a lot of truth to that too. There is, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That's the thing about professional athletes is people kind of put them on a pedestal and they forget that I don't care what you say or do. We're similar to everybody. We are. The mindset's a little different for sure. I mean, that's what separates us all, is the mindset, because we're all talented in our own ways. The mindset separates us, but at the end of the day, we're pretty similar, man.
Yeah.
We are. We have the same thought process and all that, which means I'm going to tell you right now that it wouldn't have mattered, no matter how focused or unfocused Deontay Wilder was, no matter who his trainer was. This is where a lot of people might disagree with me, is that it wouldn't have mattered.
No, it wouldn't have.
No matter who he had in his corner, no matter who trained him before that, no matter their game plan. I don't think they had a bad game plan going in. I just think that it doesn't matter sometimes, in the simple fact that Tyson Fury is that good.
Well, Deontay Wilder couldn't have much of a game plan. For the most part, he's a one-trick pony.
I want to come knock you out.
Yeah. And I think he's since parted ways, right? I believe that just happened.
Just recently.
So
he fired his coach after like 30-some wins, 30-some knockouts. He loses one fight, and he fires his coach.
So even if Tyson Fury took that rematch or used the rematch clause for that, I'm sorry, the it's not going to be the different end result.
It's not. And I questioned it. I said, you know who I want to see Tyson Fury fight? Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Which is the entire England wants to see that. Not just England. The world wants to see that because in all of our opinions, say what you want, the two best heavyweights in the world are Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. I'm going to go ahead and give him some props. Third place is Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
He's there. He earned that. He's there.
Yeah.
But the top two, Anthony Joshua,
Yeah.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
End of story.
All right, so we'll see. We'll see. You have some source, you have sources, and you have a rumor mill. So we'll see what happens with that
I think I'm right, though.
as the weeks progress. Well, whenever he says he thinks he's right, usually that means he is right. So we talked about Lomachenko Lopez. That's this weekend. It's going to be a great bout. If you're
October 17th.
October 17th. I'm sorry, we don't have the details as to the venue as well as how to watch it, but if you have the
It's
ability,
a top-ranked ESPN card, almost 100% positive because he's with Top Rank. Both
Okay.
of them are. So I know that ESPN, it might be an ESPN pay-per-view or
Yeah.
an ESPN Plus, but I know for a fact that it's ESPN.
it's going to be worth it. I'm sure we'll be tuning in as well. Then we talked a bit as well on December 5th, which as we lead up to that, we'll give a little bit more insight to Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, which is it's just a big bout. Listen, once again, the next few months it's great for boxing fans, boxers, promoters. This is an exciting time because as we get through this Big C season, we've been very good so far this week. As we get through the Big C season and to see fans be able to enter arenas and participate, it's just wonderful. So I think boxing is going to be definitely the beneficiary of that, especially on December 5th. So we've talked about these big bouts coming up. I don't know, Travis. I kind of like the way the episode's gone so far. We've been really boxing oriented today.
Like, we've been 99.9% boxing.
Which is basically the recovery rate of the Big C.
You're right.
Yeah, and the rate of living through it and not dying.
Survival
Rate. That's what it's called.
So if you've survived our show, you've also shown that you can survive the Big C.
Yeah. Something that drove me crazy earlier today. So I went to go have lunch with my son, and we had some errands to run, but we're around town, right around here, and we go to one place, and they have a drive-through, but we go through because we want to eat inside. Nope. And I look at it, I'm like, are you kidding me? Florida is 100% occupancy in restaurants. It's really up to the
By the way, DeSantos, I love you.
DeSantis has been great.
He's done positive.
So we go into this place, and we're like, are you serious? We can't sit down? Okay, fine. We're not eating here.
So you had to order at the table, and you couldn't sit down. Or order
You
at the
can
desk,
order, and then you have to carry it out. So we said, forget it. So
then you walk in.
So we got back into my truck, and we went to the next place. Same thing. And I'm thinking to myself, we're in Florida. If anything, we've been 50% restaurant occupancy for weeks. We're at 100%, and you're telling me it's 0 in 2 places so far. And I'm like, forget it. I didn't even want to give either place the drive-through business. No. So we went to another spot, and we ate in the actual restaurant. It drove me mad.
Brandon,
Nuts.
60% of the time, it works every time.
And you know what? 40% of the time, they're wrong every time. Actually, no. Those
doesn't make sense, but does
those
make sense.
2 restaurants are wrong 100% of the time.
There you go. Do you want to name them or no?
So if I name them, you're gonna be like, oh, those are terrible eating choices. But it was a matter of where we were. I had to go to Lowe's, so that there's only a few places like right around that by us. So we went to Pollo Tropical.
That sounds terrible.
I know, but I haven't been.
They're actually, but to be fair, they're not that crazy unhealthy.
No,
Pollo
they're not. You
Tropical's
can order
actually
something reasonable. You can order something reasonable
rice,
anywhere.
beans, everything. Solid place.
So we walk in because you can go drive through if you want, but I don't eat in my truck. I want to eat in at an actual table. Hold on a second, folks.
So
Video.
they said that no.
That's okay. They know this is how it works. No, I walked in and they had like all the stools up on the table and all this other nonsense.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
I just want to.
so they're watching us walk in. I'm like, I look around. I'm like, nope. See ya. Get back in my truck. Right next door, and I don't like this place anyways. Panda Express.
I thought
It's
you were gonna
awful.
say Chili's.
No, they'll seat people.
Yeah, that's like
But in
next door.
between that is Panda Express. We go in there.
They didn't take people inside.
They have.
They don't have a drive-thru.
Blue tape. Well, you can order and pick it up.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yep.
They have blue tape on every table. I look at them, and all they're doing back behind the counter is like stirring the terrible meat and everything and gross food. And I look at them like,
I'm going to judge you for that one.
well,
Pollo
my son said
Tropical,
that. My son said that.
Pollo Tropical.
I don't like Panda Express.
Way better than Panda.
I don't like Panda Express.
There's some things I like at Panda.
Yeah, but it's
I
still
haven't
not
eaten there for a
good.
long time. It's not good for you.
No. And I looked at them, are you kidding? And I walked out. So we went to whatever that one Rise Pies, the pizza place right behind. It's okay.
They let you eat there?
Yeah. It's okay.
I've never eaten there.
But we're in
I
Florida.
heard they were good. We are on 100% capacity now.
Boom.
Like what blows my mind is that we're 100% capacity, right? You have to wear masks.
Yeah, fine. Whatever.
Fine. But Panda Express, if the masks work, why are you not open? I don't get that. If the masks work, I'll stop saying if. When the masks work, why are you not? Can I tell you something else?
No. Have you seen the picture? There's a picture floating around for many, many weeks.
Many moons ago.
It's like a meme, basically. So they have the one side, and it's like a cartoon. They have the one guy with the mask, or the coronavirus. He's standing. I didn't say the whole thing.
Oh, you didn't?
The big C.
You stopped.
I said
Ooh.
coronavirus.
Let's check. We didn't say it.
Okay, so half the photo shows him standing in a restaurant, and the big C is hitting him in the face, and it says, not safe. He sits down, and then the next image is him sitting at a table with the mask off, and it's still it's going over his head,
yeah.
and it says safe. Like, all of a sudden, the big C only floats around at 5'6" and above.
So, you're not wrong, because, one, I went to a restaurant tonight before our episode, Park Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
They abided by the rules as well.
Sure.
But, Brandon, we wore a mask as we were walking to our table.
Yeah.
We sat down. Coronavirus disappeared.
MFer.
Magically.
MFer.
Brandon, magically. But also, we were also having a late dinner, early dinner actually, with a friend who works in the White House. And I believe that Trump just announced that if you've got the coronavirus once, you can, son of a...
That's the second one, by the way, in this little 1 minute tirade you have.
Son of a bee.
So guess what? We're at 20.
Okay, never again. But, so, the big C, they just announced, the president did, that it used to be if you got it, you couldn't get it within 34 months, right? Now, it's officially been announced that if you've had it, you can never get it again. You cannot pass it on. None of that.
Well,
so,
they
it got announced.
I
President
know.
said it.
The numbers.
It must be true.
The numbers show that there are always outliers. Obviously, somebody could, I don't
Small
know.
percentage.
There's a small percentage, but yes,
They're
I
the
completely agree.
exception, not
you know
the
what?
rule.
I don't want to get into this because of your stupid mouth,
idiot,
we got to do 20.
I was the person that
You said it twice.
Don't want to do
You said it
this.
twice in like a minute.
But I also want to make sure everybody knows that if you've gotten it before, here's the deal.
Stop it.
I want to tell everybody
no,
that
stop talking.
I'm never wearing a mask again
Yeah, you are.
because I've already had it, but not really.
20. 2-0. 20. Oh, you ready? Yep. Oh, I haven't done these in a while. There's 20. Keep going. No way. No way.
I was halfway in.
You can't count.
I promise I can't.
Okay.
I promised that was 20, but maybe it didn't go as far down as Brandon.
All right.
First of all, Brandon, I did 50 push-ups today on the beach in Daytona. 50. I promise I did.
Okay. I believe you. Okay. So,
D word.
I'm going to wrap this thing up
Okay, wrap it up.
because we will ramble for an hour.
No glove, no love.
No. Wow, okay. Hold on. No glove. Producer
I got
notes.
some good one-liners.
Thank you very much. If you've been joining us, we've talked about a couple big fights coming up. I mean, we talk about a lot of stuff. But it was mainly boxing, in which I'm very proud of you. Very proud.
I stayed on topic very well.
Don't point. Don't point.
I stayed on topic very
We're
well.
already shadow banned enough.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so
I apologize, but I don't love you guys.
So to our followers, thank you very much. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support, following us, supporting us, liking our pages, things like that. If you're not doing that already, you really should, because, once again, rumor has it, someone might show up to your house and
punch you in the stomach.
look at that.
Yeah. See, this guy's freaking swole as a mother.
That's just because I did 20 push-ups. So, once again, thank you to our media partners, TH Boxing, Gulfstream Financial, and IF Enterprises. Appreciate you. Closing thoughts.
ELD.
Everyone love everyone. Wow.
But also, let's go ahead and remind people, because we're only 2 to 3 weeks away, go out and vote.
November 3rd.
And when I say this, I'm not like the other side. I want you to go vote whoever you want.
Yeah.
Vote your conscience, vote whatever you want.
Yeah.
But vote.
Yeah.
Because it's your right, and I believe that if you don't vote,
Don't
whoever
complain.
Gets elected,
Don't complain.
Shut
Hey.
your mouth.
And by the way, here's the other thing. Only vote once.
That's actually true too.
Okay.
Be honest. Vote honestly once, because I'm only voting once too.
Let's bring it all together. Let's close this thing out.
Let's bring it all together. Let's close
We are together here.
it
This is a
out.
very
Let's be
inclusive.
together.
Look at that. Wow. Look at,
Inclusiveness.
hold on.
Because this guy's so.
This is a
full.
very but so is my stomach,
so
my belly.
full.
My belly is.
But his
It's
arms
full
are
of this baby blue. It's not very good.
really
Anyways, thank you very much for joining us today. Once again, if you haven't done so already, follow, or subscribe, hit the bell.
Subscribe, follow, do your best.
We love you guys. Thank you very much. That is Travis Hartman.
That is Brandon Waters.
Thanks for joining us. God bless. Have a good one. Oh, jeez. What's wrong with this guy?
We went the